and welcome to the Charles J. Quinn Gymnasium at Manchester High School West. For this evening's NHIAA Division II boys basketball game between the Falcons and your Manchester West Blue Knights. Before we begin the game, we would like to remind you that good sportsmanship is a priority of high school events. Negative comments and acts directed towards our athletes, coaches, officials, and other fans are unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Choose to be a good sport. We'd also like to remind you to support our track team with our concession. There's popcorn, pizza, soda, and snacks. And now, here are your starting lineups for tonight's game. First, for the both Falcons, with Mr. Eric Saucier. Number 10, Benjamin Reardon. Number 14, Carter Hall. Number 15, Kyle Simmons. Number 21, Pete Larry. And number 23, Connor Eno. And now, for your West Side, Blue Knights will focus. Number 1, Isaiah Cruz. Number 4, Brandon Mariano. Number 10, Max Hood. Number 23, Jermaine Gonzalez. And number 32, Seven Alami. The officials for tonight's game are Anthony Thomas and Brandon. And now, please stand for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, happy 2026, everybody. Welcome to the campus of Manchester West High School in Manchester, New Hampshire on this lightly snowy eve in our first game of Manchester Public Television's presentation of NHIAA D2 sports and basketball. We got a good one teed up. This is Rich McDonough with Kyle Heavey doing MPTV's call. We've got the host, Manchester West Blue Knights, welcoming in the Bow Falcons boys basketball team in a preseason matchup of two top 10s, and we'll get more on that later. The Knights come in at 4-0, whereas the Bow Falcons come in at 1-1, but having won their Christmas tournament. Big news, Kyle Heavey, is the injury bug hit Bow.
Always tough when you lose one of your better players. A thumb injury has taken out one of the top Falcons, and now we'll see if the Blue Knights can take advantage of this.
Absolutely, and that's none other than Brendan O'Keefe, preseason All-Stater. Really 18 points a game. Tough when that happens. You got to have last man in. You got to step up and step in.
Well, Kyle Simmons will try to play the role of the center and make way for the Falcons, and a nice shot right there.
And one thing they don't want to do is let Max Hood get real hot. He is hot generally, averaging just under 22 a game, and the preseason All-Stater showing why he has got those accolades. He drains too. His toe is just on the line there as we get going in our first 8 minutes of play. Nice kick out pass to the wing, and that's Carter Hall trying to take advantage of good wrestle, get his own rebound out, and then Kyle Simmons out there in the wing. They got 4 around the perimeter right now, trying to test that offense. They don't want to get in a track meet, Kyle Heavey.
Oh, absolutely not. This West team is ready to run with that 4-0 record. They have looked great, even playing some top D1 teams in the Queen City Invitational Tournament this holiday break. And now back to the D2 schedule they have, and a whistle by Antoine Thomas gives the ball back to the West Blue Knights.
Anton Thomas, plenty of experience, along with Fred McNeil out there. There'll be no shortage of good vantage points from an experienced officiating crew. 6:23 on the board here in our first, and it's 2-0 for the hometown Blue Knights so far.
Fred has done a number of games commentating for Manchester Public Television. Now to see him out here, I know that he was actually doing the JV game at Merrimack Londonderry, so I saw him on Friday as well. So he's a busy man in stripes.
Well, I'll tell you what, the money's better down on the floorboards, that's for sure. All right, packed in are the Bow Falcons. As I said, don't want to get in a north-south track meet right here. Chris Saucier, the second-year coach, and I got to speak this morning. That one, front rims and back rims, goes long. Aziel Cruz unable to hit that one, but it was a good-looking shot. That young fellow wearing number 1, you'll see him be busy tonight. All right, Bows, everybody out in the perimeter again. They got a mountain of a man inside in Peyton Larrabee. All a 6'4", looks like he's built more like a tight end than a hoops player. That's a good long rebound. Comes to the hands of Ben Reardon, who's going to have to step into that point guard role with the injured O'Keefe. He dislocated his thumb in practice a couple of days ago. I got to talk to him briefly, Kyle, and he said he'd be out a week. But the question is chemistry when you lose a kid that good.
Yeah, it's really a tough spot. I mean, as someone that injured themselves in practice as well, it's such a daunting thing as you're trying to get the team better, yourself better, and now you're out for a week. And, well, through the first almost 3 minutes of this contest, still just a 2-0 game in favor of the home West squad. Well,
they certainly don't want it in the 60s or 70s here. They got to keep it low. And right now he's got to get some help is Connor Eno. He does get some help in Carter Hall, but that'll be 10 seconds. That's a violation. And Antoine Thomas was all over that one, 5:01, and the ball goes back to the Blue Knights.
As much as you don't want to use them, I feel like a timeout would have been beneficial right there just to keep the possession. Yes, I understand it's only 2-0, but at the same time, now it's just a turnover right there.
And handling the ball is Braden Mariano, senior guard wearing number 4 right in front of our camera. Kyle Heavey doing everything, spinning the dials, editing, you name it. Commentating, wow.
Do all we can here for Manchester Public Television to give us the best quality footage that we have.
There we go.
These players appreciate it.
Master of all trades, jack of none. Coming over on the swat were the Falcons there, but we got too much body contact. Ball will stay down underneath.
And that was a very clean swipe right there by big number 21 in Peyton Larrabee, but the foul is called, and it's going to be the first on Simis. Oh, free throw made right there, and now it's a 3-0 lead, and Mariano only averaging 6.3 points per game, but when he gets hot, he is butter, and you'd love to see what he can do.
Also a darn good ball handler. I was watching him play in that holiday tournament. He's got game. Right now he's got to play some defense there on Ben Reardon, the 6'2 sophomore. Oh, that is good defense right there by Mariano. He takes it to the rack, and he adds 2. That was a great sequence for number 4 there, Kyle. And 1.
Gets the 2 free throws, makes the steal, makes the layup. Wow, what a great job right there, putting this West squad up 6-0, and now Bo has taken a timeout with 4:29 remaining in this first period.
30-second variety. I think that's a good call by Coach Saucier, countering Rich Otis's fast start right there. Well, not so much a fast start, but really a frenetic pace in the last couple minutes, Kyle.
Yeah, it's only so much you can do with trying to get these guys. I mean, it is the first day back to school after a nice holiday break. You know that these guys were up at 6:30 this morning, get to school, and now here it is 12 hours later playing a basketball game after getting on the bus in the snow. There's a reason why they could be a little bit delayed in getting this started here. Yeah, little cobwebs here.
Well, I'll tell you, in the D2 ranks, there's only one other game tonight with all the action on Tuesday, tomorrow. Nevertheless, back to the line we go, and we'll see what Mariano can do. Tack on 1, give himself a trifecta on that play. Smooth shooting of Mariano.
3 for 3, and that's a nice 5 points he's got so far.
Yep, he's out of the gates early. 7-zip is our score with 4:25 here at Charles J. Quinn's Gymnasium.
And
too much body on that defense by Hood.
Yeah, he tried, and they're doing a good job on defense, but it's the first foul on the Blue Knights in this first period. So
there we go, good inbound play. That was in streaking Connor Eno. One of those sophomore guards that's really got to elevate tonight. All right, 4:13 on the clock. Extended position, down 7-zip right now by a touchdown in Manchester. There's the big fella going inside, dishes outside. beautiful three. Nice three ball right there. Much needed by Kyle Simis. He's lanky, but he can play every position on the floor, Kyle.
Nothing but net on that shot. That had a perfect arc, and that's what the Falcons were needing right now to try to get some energy getting back into this contest. So.
Like a dose of oxygen. They absolutely need that. Good. I was watching the Blue Knights. They pick and roll and go high-low very well, and then rotate ball side, and they open up that lane. We'll see what happens here. 3:28 on the clock, 7-3 lead for the hometown fellows in white. That is a smooth, floating bucket by Mariano, who is on fire to start this game.
He was averaging 6.3, already has 7 through the first nearly 5 minutes in this contest. So watch out, it could be Mariano's game here.
First day back in school, young man ate his Wheaties today, no doubt.
Hopefully it was someone special on the box, you know.
I was always a Frosted Flakes guy, but I love my Wheaties. All right, here we go. After that turnover, 3 minutes even remaining in our first quarter. It is 9-3 for the Blue Knights, looking to create. They are currently number 4 in the New Hampshire sports page poll, and preseason, the Bow Falcons were number 6, but with that injury, that's tough. Then they had a devastating loss to Sauhegan at home in overtime the other day.
Sauhegan's tough, both boys and girls this year, I will say that.
Yeah, they were on the outside of the poll looking in, but I don't think they've left any doubt right now. They've had some good wins early on.
What a job by the Blue Knights, just being patient.
And Jermaine Gonzalez, big guy, but boy, he's got nimble feet out there. And this is why he was out all last year, Kyle Hebe, and we saw him as a sophomore plenty, and they're glad to have him back in the paint. All right, ball goes back over, and the Falcons will inbound at 2:23 mark. Again, Rich McDonough here with Kyle Hebe. It's our first go time of the year. I'm happy to be back up here with you, Kyle.
Oh, definitely. He tried to get on the road, but didn't buy a ticket. That's a travel right there.
Lachlan Brady. And he looks skyward and just going, oh, my gosh, how could I do that one? Pats himself on the chest saying, guys, I got that one. All right, turnover, 2:15 on the clock. That restarts as bringing it inbounds and into plays. Max Hood dishes it out to the big fella down low, and Sevi Aldati. That is a good play down low, but I think somebody got a piece of that one on the way up. Nice job by the Falcons to rotate.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he just didn't, he went up too hard with it or what, but either way, Falcons with a good rebound.
Might have had a little help from behind, but anyway, back to Bo it goes. That's a good pick out top. Just enough space. Can we get the drop? No, but that's a good offensive rebound and clear out underneath by Kyle Simis. And we said he's got 3 ball. He can pass and he can board. At 6'3" there, he goes to the stripe. We'll see how he does there.
Reminds me a lot of what my game used to be. Just try to be all around, a lot of hustle. Got very similar height, got a same first name, so I'm kind of rooting for him to see what he can do. And the shoes, wild colors right here, Rich.
Well, I like them. Technicolor yawn, we used to call it.
Pink, green, orange, it's blue. It's impressive to see. And, well, it's rocking some 1990s style right there.
We got smooth shooting from the charity line at 147. Simis has all 5 points to go with those 2 from the line. He had that beautiful 3 ball earlier. So it's 9-5. Bo is back in its 1-2-2 right now for the moment. And flexing out top of is Ben Reardon.
Aiden Ramirez coming into the game.
Oh, that is a beautiful, smooth stroke by Amara. He's averaging 9 points a game. Balanced scoring for this Blue Knights team, Kyle. They got 7 or 8 guys who can fill it up. And already it's 12-5 with $1:15 remaining in the first. Kind of not what Eric Saucier wanted from this team, particularly because he's missing the All-Stater O'Keefe. They have foul underneath right there.
Mariano got a elbow to the face, and it was not called. So you could see that he was not pleased with that. That certainly hurts, Rich.
Literally and theoretically as well. Coming into the game is Luis Alcantara, He is built like a linebacker, number 22. He's in the paint right now, trying to body up Peyton Larrabee. That's a good work right there as we get the drop, making it 12-8 as we tick just under a minute.
Carter Hall with the 3, and now it's a 4-point contest, like you said. Bo not going away. They're trying to continue to fight, being down this whole entire game so far.
That's a great ball yet again. I tell you what, Amara Freeman, you see why he's got 9 points a game in relief. This kid's got a beautiful smooth stroke from that wing.
What an answer right there from the Knights.
I see your 3 and raise you. All right, 28 ticks. They get the ball on low to Simis, and Simis uses all glass. Nice job. He has having himself a night. He has 7 points already, 7 of the 10 for the Falcons. 15 seconds left in our first. Good diagonal bounce pass, and then a kick out to the wing. Hood can't drop that one, and ricochets long. Amara, does he have one more? No, it back rims, goes high. Pretty good board right there, courtesy of Carter Hall, as we probably are going to tick out of the first period. Exciting first period, Kyle Heavey, back and forth, and I think Bo is fortunate to be in this game given the pace with which the Blue Knights are able to play.
Just down 5, and Manchester West would certainly like to get one more bucket there. They had a chance with 20 seconds to go. Were able to get some quality rebounds and just did not get the ball in the cylinder, and that we'll see what happens here as we move on to the second period here. Manchester Public Television's basketball coverage. Rich McDonough and Kyle Heavey here. It's glad to be inside and warm here. I've spent a lot of time over at the JFK Memorial Coliseum between the Brian C. Stone Memorial Christmas Hockey Tournament and a lot of Trinity and Manchester Kings games. But great to be in a warm gymnasium doing some basketball with you, Rich.
Absolutely.
And we'll see what the Falcons can do. They were smart and called some important timeouts, and now they're starting to get some hot shooters here coming into the game.
Well, I'll tell you, word has it you had as much frost and snowflakes on you from the JFK weekend as the Pioneers had on their holiday jerseys, which are good-looking unis.
They were great-looking unis. They looked like Santa Claus out there, and they made it all the way to the championship game. Just came out a little too short against the tough Concord Crimson Tide.
And I got to call Concord the other night against Keene, and that was a 5-1 win. All right, but here we are, warm and toasty at Charles J. Quinn Gymnasium. Historic barn, much like Everett was a historic barn. Our second frame here in Manchester tonight. It is 15-10. The white-clad Blue Knights holding serve in that first quarter, up by 5 over the visiting Bo Falcons. Again, big story for Bo as they are missing their all-state fella, Brendan O'Keefe. And anytime you lose a guy who's an 18-point scorer, you've got to find ways to compensate. And if you're Manchester, you got to find ways to take advantage.
Well, Simmons has done a great job, and we'll see, almost made that block there.
Nice floater right there by Amara. Couldn't get that one to drop.
3 balls just not falling there. Number of chances and just unable to get it, and now a collision in the middle of the court.
Yeah, Alcantara colliding there with Simmons. That's a battle of big fellas right there. Got a hard, heavy pick outside the top of the 3 line, and we got a foul called. And Fred McNeil comes sidelines, got a hold.
Yeah,
that was a hard hold.
Aiden Ramirez got a little spoken to right there, and you can see his body gesture to Coach Otis and company that this is what he did to me, and I get called for it.
All right, Jacob Littlefield takes a seat for Bo. Give his coach some good minutes. That's probably going to be a block on Braden Mariano. Boy, I'll tell you, Braden Mariano, diminutive relatively, and he takes a big, hard charge really from, or blocking foul from the far bigger Simmons. That's a lot of guts right there. Tough kid.
Yeah, he is one tough, competitive person, and he's just got to be smart here.
That's excellent inbounds defense by Amara Freeman, and that's a turnover, 5-second rule, and back we go if you're wearing the Blue Knights. Bo trimmed out in its traditional navy and gold. Again, they lost that 53-50 heartbreaker to Souhegan at home on December 17th. Souhegan hit a 3 to tie it at the buzzer. That is a team to be reckoned with, but any one of these teams, when healthy, can be looking at Durham at the end of the season here. 6:50 on the clock, 15-10 on the scoreboard. Nobody's on the board here in a second. Well, that's a pretty good dish by Hood, but good closeout defense to keep his north-south penetration at a minimum. Nice inbounds. And a good dish outside. Braden Mariano takes a look, thinks better of it, and then he kicks it to wing. Ramirez has a good look at it, but good backside rebound. And then the scramble ensues. Lots of hard hitting, and somebody's going to get a hack inside.
Yeah, that loose ball foul is tough. He tried to just get it out of the hands of the West player and just was called for the foul. So.
Yeah, that was Simas. You can't get him in foul trouble. He's shown he's too valuable to this Falcons team.
Just a junior, so they looking at the future here for the Falcons going into next year with only 4 seniors this year.
Good defense right there, rattling it in. There's Mariano. Boy, I tell you, he's got so much game.
Is that a 10 for him now, Rich?
That is 10, yes sir, good call. Your math is quicker than mine, my man. Oh, there's a good ball right there from the wing by Carter Hall. That's his second 3-ball of the night. And undaunted are the Falcons. As Coach Saucier said, he didn't come here to coach to lose. No thanks. They don't like moral victories. They're not looking for one. That's a good hands play right there by Larrabee. He didn't get the rebound, but he kept that ball alive, tipped it to a teammate, and back we go. 18-13 at the 5:30 mark here in the second quarter at Quinn Gym. Falcons being patient right now with the ball. Everybody up top side perimeter. It's a good hands inside right there, courtesy of Ramirez. Couldn't get the drop. This one does get the drop. A pair of 14s making plays. Carter Hall gets his 8th point of the night, courtesy of 2 threes and that deuce right there. 18-15.
This Falcons zone defense has done a really good job so far.
And what they're going to call a block? Thought he forced him into a travel. Good defense right there by Ben Reardon.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with his defense and patience here throughout the start of this game here. And now Antoine
might have a little blood on a jersey or something. We've got wholesale substitutions coming in. Gonzalez comes back in. Venturini. Good-looking freshman Venturini is. Good ball handling skills. And Hood trying to inbound. Good defense, suffocating D. That one goes loft, and a good leaping control right there by Freeman. And he sets up the motion offense.
Remind me of a wide receiver trying to get his feet in.
Absolutely. We saw a lot of that over the weekend. All right, Hood has it on the wing, looking for a pick and roll. Almost has one, courtesy of Gonzalez. Didn't take the advantage. 4:33 on the clock. That's a good entry pass right there, and a little clear out right there by Gonzalez. He finally gets himself on the board, and that was just a good-looking play all around. Nice patience, Kyle.
Yeah, that's get him going, and he's going to be like a train, so watch out now.
All right, Eno takes the hand check from Hood. Probably a block right there, no call. Letting the boys play a little physical right now. Eno gathers it up. No traveling right there. Gives it back to Simas, who dishes it out to wing. Carter Hall looking to create. Now Simas goes inside, handles the ball low. Good hands showing from the big man. Speaking of big man, look at tell you, Larrabee is a monster out there. And right now the Falcons are really rotating that perimeter, looking for the tray, and they got one courtesy of Littlefield. And that is a big bucket right there for number 2. And he brings it to 20-18. You gotta love the fortitude from the Falcons.
And West tries to answer air ball, but able to get that rebound.
Yeah.
He'll try it again.
We can feel the breeze from here. Here comes that little bit of a mini weave up top side as we're at the 3:20 mark. This one bounces harmlessly over to Venturini, who puts it in, gives it over to Gonzalez. He looks to create. As we got triples on the left side. And that's a good-looking ball right there. Unable to connect was Freeman. He had 2 of those in the first quarter. Good hands inside, but it ricochets over the end line and toward the concession stand, Kyle Heavey. Nothing wrong with that as Reardon comes back into the game.
Yeah, Littlefield gets a rest here. That was a big 3, cutting the lead just to 2 for the West Blue Knights. So they got to be careful, get some points here.
All right, Gonzalez with a great pick inside. Beautiful hands inside right there by a collapsing, rebounding pair for the Blue Knights. And here comes Freeman. He goes left, and he gets the look at the basket, draws a foul from Reardon. That'll be his second in just a couple minutes. You cannot get number 10 into foul trouble. He is the stand-in point guard. He was the point guard last year as a freshman, but it's on him right now with O'Keefe on the bench. All right, we'll see if Freeman is as good from the free throw line as he is from 3 points, and he sure is. That'll be his 7th point of the contest already. He's got a 3rd of the Blue Knights points, and he chalks up his 8th.
Rivera will come back in, and taking a seat is Freeman. So both these guys doing a great job coming in and out of the game with getting massive points here for the Blue Knights.
Well, they've got 8 guys who can put it in, and that is such a luxury at this level. And this yet again why Rich Otis in his 3rd year was Coach of the Year last year. Oh, that's a pretty, like a mini Mikan kind of thing right there, courtesy of Ben Reardon. He's frustrated right now. He's got some fouls, and he couldn't get any action on that one. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. It's 22-18 as the Blue Knights are holding serve so far. Falcons making a game of it in the absence of their star. Here's a big kick out to the wing right there, and Venturini can't get that one to drop, but the smallest man on the floor right now gets an offensive rebound, and Mariano is hitting pay dirt no matter what. He's got 12 points already, Kyle.
Unreal right there. What a first half it's been for him, as he definitely has felt the warmth here with his shot here.
Yeah, and he and Ben Reardon exchange pleasantries right there. Good sportsmanship. And Reardon's got the ball now. Good inbound play. Marked up closely right there by Venturini. Freshman in the game for Coach Otis, and that's good. Great hands right there by Mariano. This guy is all over the map.
Wish I had his endurance there, Rich.
I used to. Back in the day, I could run for 5 hours, man. That was good fun. That's a great pick inside by Giancarlo de Blasio. Can't get the drop, though, was Reardon, and you can see the frustration. The body language is very difficult right now. That is a beautiful take. Going left is Hood, and man, what a slashing move that was.
And Bo trying to take advantage of a sleepy West squad running the other way, and they'll have a chance for 2 free throws here after that layup was fouled, as he kind of went in for the body.
Yeah,
he went with the body. There really wasn't intent to shoot, but either way, whatever works to get fouls works. And now being down 8 points, these are 2 big free throws here.
And that foul was on Al-Dadi here. He's a big fella. Unable to get that drop right there. Eno still yet to get on the board so far. He averages 4 points a game. His, distributor type of game.
6th man last year, trying to make it a 5th this year.
Can't do that from the line. Got to take care of those opportunities. And now it's an 8-point lead as we head down toward the minute mark here at Quinn Gym. There's that nice weave and rotation. This one short, rims off and into the waiting arms of Carter Hall.
And those are tough. You want that to go in.
Nice clean look at it after a good series. All right, Bo, we're under a minute here. Good defense yet again by Mariano. I love this kid's game. Keeping everything in front of him and everything outside as much as they can. And Bo hasn't hit a whole lot of free balls so far. Got a chance right here. That's a good look and a good take and a great drop and a drawing of the foul from Jermaine Gonzalez. Beautiful. That's high IQ ball right there, Kyle.
Yeah, great job. He was able to see that he could get around the defender, was able to, and then is able to get the shot, and now we'll see if he can go get the 3-point play.
Well, that was his first bucket of the evening. All the frustration. This could go a long way toward erasing that. You got to get some confidence as you go to the break here. Oh, and he back rims that. Can't get that one to drop.
3 big free throws missed in a row here for the Falcons. They could have easily cut this lead to a 3-point deficit, and instead now here they are And out of bounds off of West, it should be.
It should be off of West. I think they missed that one.
Certainly did, and Antoine not even asking for Fred's.
It's Bo ball.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. Look, it was great box out by West, but they hit by Bo, and Manchester tipped it from behind. I think this is a must bucket right here. Take your time, use the whole 20 that remains. You're down 6, cut it to 3, maybe even cut it to 2, whatever. Just cut it. They got the big fella topside. He declines to take that shot. We're down under 10 here, as with the ball is Simas. He had a couple of threes in the first period. That's a good catch. That's a good shot, and that is a good draw of the foul, and I believe it's going to be Ramirez. Yep, Ramirez bodied him up, and up to the line goes the big fella, Peyton Larrabee. I said he was a force in the paint, and we're seeing that.
Again, free throws much needed here for the Falcons to cut this deficit and see if he can finally get one.
Yep, that'll be his first bucket of the night, or first point of the night, I should say. I guess it did go through a bucket, Kyle.
It did, well, it got through the cylinder.
Nice little balancing act right there by Connor Eno as Larrabee drops both. And we're at the 2-second. 1 at the buzzer. Nothing doing. Hood couldn't close that one out. But an entertaining first half. Both quarters were up and down. And Falcons, I got to give them a lot of credit for hanging in there. And that was Coach Saucier's message. Yeah, we're without our all-state prolific scorer. We've got to keep it close. Track meet not in play, and that's what he wanted. What do you think, Kyle?
Absolutely. I mean, to know that you were down so much early and have cut it to 4, and still plenty of time to cut this lead some more and make this a really entertaining second half going into this.
Well, we had an entertaining first one after one here at the Charles J. Quinn Gymnasium in Manchester, New Hampshire at Manchester West High School. It is the Manchester West Blue Knights 26, the visiting Bow Falcons 22. Rich McDonough, Kyle Heavey. We're going to take a break while the fellas do. Thanks for being with us, everybody. See you on the other side. And welcome back to Manchester, New Hampshire. Manchester Public Television presenting NHIAA Sports. Tonight, the D2 Manchester West Blue Knights hosting the fellow D2 Bow Falcons in a great boys basketball contest. Preseason top 10 teams for both lived up to their billing in the first half. Rich McDonough along with Kyle Heavey doing the honors. And the big story of the first half there, it's close, notwithstanding the fact that the Falcons are missing their all-stater. They held Max Hood to 4 points, and he's been averaging just under 22, Kyle.
Yeah, that's been a huge spot, but Braden Mariano was able to pick up the pace as we are trying to make sure a lot of salt on the shoes here coming in and out of the gymnasium here. We're trying to get this all clean.
Yeah.
And I was able to go down below here between at halftime, and we got a lot of big name coaches here in the state, in the arena here tonight, with including Dunk Walsh from the Concord Crimson Tide, who was able to have his Concord team win the Brian C. Stone. And then we also got Coach Danny Bryson from the Memorial Crusaders, who have a big game against the Bedford Bulldogs on Friday night.
Coaching legends. Dunk Walsh got his 600th career win just recently, and I called his game on Saturday night. What a legend.
Absolutely, and I had to joke. I knew that there was a bus fire in Keene the other day, and I thought that it might have been him. I didn't realize they were at home at the Everett Arena. But either way, the action here with a foul to start things off on the Blue Knights.
Well, it is 26-22 as we get going in our third period. And Falcons, they did what they needed to do, which was keep it close in the absence of Brendan O'Keefe. Again, 18 points a game he's averaging. And that's a big loss, but they did a darn good job. This one backside rim for Ben Reardon, who's looking to pick up some slack. And Ben Reardon, who averages 4 points a game, had 2, so he's right on pace. You said it, though, Kyle. Braden Mariano coming in, averaging just over 6. He's already almost doubled that. That's important for them in a balanced attack for Coach Rich Otis.
Oh, that was a big defensive job there by the Blue Knights here. Now can they turn that defense into offense, and they do.
And Max Hood's ready to rewrite the story of that first half there. He must have heard us, Kyle. That's just reporting the facts, sir. All right, that makes it 29-22. as we're just under 1 minute gone here in the third frame. That's a nice bounce pass down low and then a kick out top to Larrabee. Big fella takes it and he draws some contact and a block right there courtesy of Ramirez. That, Kyle Heavey, is Ramirez's fourth foul already.
That is a tough spot right there, and he's done a great job, but now you can see he's going to get replaced in this game, and coming in will be Alcantara.
Well, they just need to physical somebody, and they're putting three fellas on one, and they're rotating against Larrabee. I've had coach for forever and a day, and that's sometimes what you have to do. You just have to rotate and do your best. And the big fella can't connect at the dot, at the line, excuse me. Too much hockey I've been calling lately. Boy, that one front rims. Unable to strike that one down as Azeal Cruz. Back come the Falcons.
4 missed free throws here for the Falcons so far in this contest that I can remember. There might be actually 5, but either way, it's just points are needed here all around.
It is 4 misses right there. We got another whistle. And 6:27 remaining here in our third. It's 29-24. Kyle and I were saying if you're Manchester, you don't want to get in the track. I mean, you want the track meet. If you're Bow, you do. And I think too many steps right there. Yes, sir. Peyton Larrabee packed his bags. No ticket, as Kyle Heavey said earlier.
Yeah, in the words of the new kids on the block, step by step.
Oh, boy.
Day by day.
Before my time, Kyle, but that's why we work well together. You know, we get both sides of the equation figured out. All right, back to after that traveling call, courtesy of the big fella. Here come the inbounding Manchester West Blue Knights, up 5 at the 6:20 mark in the third.
Both teams quiet so far. 3 points for West, 2 for Bow, and now West will try to change that.
And Freeman had a couple of beautiful 3 balls in that first quarter. Unable to connect right here. Rebound goes to the waiting Kyle Simmis, who boxed out beautifully against the Alcantara, who just came in. Great hands right there by Hood. He'll take it to the rack and dump it down. And
Great
just like that,
again.
He's already got 5 points after having only 4 in the first quarter. And it's a 7-point lead now for the Knights. Good ball handling and feet right there by Reardon. He tries to get to the rack. It looked like Gonzalez got a piece of it. And then the big fella tries to go yard, and Gonzalez rotates over. Deny. Beautiful piece of defense right there by Jermaine Gonzalez. Oh, and then rotating back. What hustle by Hood. And we saw that in the holiday tournament. The kid has jets when he gets going down end to end.
Unbelievable job of coming back to save the day. It might have gone off of the white team, but at the same time, it saved 2 points. And now air ball.
Did you say it was a hairball?
Wow.
Poor cat. Anyway, okay, we're headed down to 5 minutes. 31-24. Could be a double-digit lead if you get a 3 ball right here. Hood fakes it, goes inside. Nice little jab step and a drop. And just like that, number 10 has 7 points out of the gate. All 7 of Manchester West points in the third quarter. And just like that, it is a 9-point lead at the 4:54 mark, Kyle. That's a hot start for Manchester.
Absolutely. You know, he could tell that he was kind of killing himself inside to try to get some points here. And now West is loving their 9-point lead as we're not even halfway through this second half here in the third period. And the cheerleaders out here giving some love to the fans, and good turnout here all around for a Monday night.
Yeah, it's terrific, especially with the light snow going on, but we're, New Hampshireites, we can handle that. Now, you made the point earlier that Braden Mariano had himself a terrific 12-point first half, and when you have a team shutting down a player like Hood, having Mariano pick up the slack allows Hood to play himself back in the game, play some defense, and I think that gets a kid like him, that gets his mojo going.
And for the Falcons, just get back to what was working before. You were already down this much earlier in the contest, and now to be able to beat down again and see if they can fight back. They worked last time when they got a timeout, And let's see if they can get a 3 here to get things going and get them going in the right direction.
And they got to get Carter Hall, who had 8, and then Kyle Simmis, who just had the ball for a moment. He had 7. They got to get them going again. Here's a long ball. Wearing number 23 is the senior Connor Eno. He gets his first points of the outing, and that is an important bucket to stem the tide.
Now back the other way. Anything you can do, I can do better, says Freeman.
Goodness gracious me, oh my, as a famous broadcaster used to say. That's good. He put it on his hip and didn't take one more step. That's good IQ by Ben Reardon right there. That's a good two-man game right there. Unable to get the drop, unfortunately, was Kyle Simmis, but they did the right thing, and they had a pick and roll and fed.
Nothing worse than missing 2 easy buckets like that. It just feels like gravity is just against you at that point.
Sure does. Your legs are a little dead, and you're missing your star, but you got to keep thumping away. That's a good play, though. And here comes Freeman yet again. When he gets going, he can get busy and drop 3 twice in this period. It is a 12-point lead for the Manchester Blue Knights. That's a great play right there to free up Simmis, and he can't close out the in-tight, around-the-world one shot right there. 3:31, he's going to the line, though.
See, I don't like that call right there, Rich, because he actually made the move before he went up for the basket. That should not be a shooting foul, in my opinion. But either way, the Falcons will take that and try to cut back some leads here, cut back this lead any way they can.
Well, we're going to get you a striped jersey and a pay raise then.
Yeah, it's just, you understand what I'm saying, though. He definitely made the move before he went up.
I do. I played varsity for 4 years, got recruited by a couple of colleges, believe it or not. Even at my 5'9" height, I was all about speed and leaping. Anyway, Simmis needed that one. He got the first of 2 from the stripe at 3:31, cuts the lead down to 11. That one had no legs on that, and he misses, got the front end, couldn't get the back end, and 39-28 it stays, 3:24 on the clock. Nice little shimmy right there by Freeman, dishes it back to Mariano, who kicks it nicely to the wing. Cruz can't look at it up in time, and back out to the perimeter to go. Good patience, nice little pick and roll right there, and the big guy Aldati, he can't get the drop. That was nice defense by Carter Hall.
Now Bo coming the other way and unable to get the first basket. Let's go up again.
And Larrabee draws pressure from front and back. Oh, can't tell whether it was Hood. I think it was. Nope. They flag up Aldati, and that is his 4th. So you got Ramirez and Aldati with 4 apiece as they pressure the big guy Larrabee. Thing is, eventually Kyle, he might run out of bodies on him.
Yeah, that's what's going to be tough. I mean, he can easily go as a lumberjack for Halloween and still look the part.
Well, and he misses another one. Boy, that's 6 or 7 missed free throws right there for the Falcons. But when you're working that hard, you're out of breath, and it's hard to concentrate. All right, splash 1 for Larrabee. That gives him his 3rd point of the game, the big fella. Yeah, good timeout right now. I think Rich Otis sees what's happening, right? And they're running out of big fellas inside, and that means Simmis and Larrabee will have some room.
Yeah, and it's officially National Bird Day here for the holidays here, so you don't want to let the Falcons know this and get themselves starting to get hot here. As it's their day to celebrate being a bird, and we'll see what we can do after this timeout.
Word has it that Ken Jennings is recruiting people for Jeopardy, Kyle. Well, if you keep with the national, like Scotch Tape Day, I remember one time it's National Milkshake Day, now National Bird Day. Kyle Heavey, as I said, Renaissance man. He's got it all going on.
I mean, if you try to eat healthy to start the year, it's National Keto Day as well, so
Holy
careful.
Cow. Well, I do that anyway, so it's not working, though. No, I'm kidding. I'm doing all right, actually. Still wearing the same pants for 20 years.
Unbelievable.
Boring. Hey, you know what? It's frugal. All right, 2:50 on the clock. Back with the ball, and we got a foul inside right before the shot. And Antoine Thomas is.
This is not good for
Right
West,
on
as that is their 5th foul.
Yeah, you got a moving pick.
As you can hear Coach Otis say, stop moving.
Yeah. That's great coaching right there. Coach of the year. If you say stop moving, coach, I'm going to stop moving. All right, flirting with the 10-second mark right here. All right, Falcons get it over the half court. Good pass in. Nice entry pass and 2. Splash it over to Larrabee. And I was saying, Kyle Heavey, that they got to get him going, and especially with all the beef on the sidelines.
Lead cut down to 8, and now we got another foul here. Who is this?
It's away from the ball, and Fred McNeil's on that one. Yeah, that was on Carter Hall. That's his first personal, but that's one of those rhythm disruptors, no matter which end it is. So 2:22 on the clock, 39-31 on the scoreboard here in the third period at Quinn Gym.
And I love to see the sportsmanship that just happened between Jacob Littlefield and Mariano Rivera. Littlefield helping him up after he tied his shoes. Love to see that sort of action here in sports.
I coach high school fellas forever and a day, Kyle, and lacrosse gets real chippy. I also coached high school basketball for a season. And, they give it their all, but they're also part of this game, and I like that a lot. All right, 2:15 on the clock, 8-point lead for the Manchester Knights. That's a great little drive on the baseline and a kick back out. Unable to close it was Mariano. Stays with the Knights for the moment as they go perimeter one more time. Good skip pass over the top side. Mariano dives down through the paint and out. Here comes Freeman. He's had a hot hand from 3, not taking the paint. Oh, nice little leaping. He got that up in a hurry, squared up, couldn't get the drop as he front rims it. Falcons have the ball, 140 and counting. Simmons is all alone. He kicks it out topside, and now they kick wing over to almost said O'Keefe, but Reardon can't find the bottom of the net. But waiting in the wings is Simmons, and he finally gets himself a drop. And boy, did the big guy needed that. Absolutely, that cuts it down to 39-33. Falcons will not go away on National Bird Day here.
This has been tough to watch. It's like a screenwriter's day as well.
Azeel Cruz.
With the West just trying to rewrite any sort of comeback here from the Falcons and putting the lead back up to 9.
Well, Azeel Cruz puts it in cruise control right there. Great hands from behind by Mariano to tip it to his waiting player. And then he goes skyball and gets over the big fella. Mr. Mariano, number 4, is having himself a night. That's his 14th of the day. And 44-33 goes back to a double-digit lead for the Manchester Blue Knights. That's a foul from behind for Mariano. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Braden did not like that, and Antoine being very patient with him, saying, he threw a forearm up there, and now we're going to get some substitutions here with 41 seconds to go in this third. But with that foul, that's going to be a 1-and-1 here for the Falcons.
Well, Antoine Thomas is just a poised ref. He's also a teaching ref and one of the nicest guys I've met around. And as a longtime coach, I was always wary of the fellas wearing black and white. Can't get the drop here. I tell you what, the missed free throws are really piling up. Ben Reardon could get that one.
And that's tough. You got to go into practice tomorrow saying, everyone, just take 10 free throws. Just do what you need to do. I understand that it's late in the sort of, we're 3/4 of the way through this game, and you've done running up and down this court. But
there you go. He took his time that time, and that was important. That cuts it down to a 10-point lead. 38 ticks on the clock here in the third at Quinn Gym. All right, handling the ball out top is Cruz. Dishes it back out to Hood. Hood has 7 points in this quarter to make it 11 for the night, averaging 22 overall in 4 games this season. All right, we're under 20. They're looking to create just one opportunity, maybe a rebound for Coach Otis as they close out this third period.
10 seconds, so we'll see who gets this final shot.
I'll tell you, Hood, IQ galore right there to see what was up on that trap. And Cruz couldn't throw that one up in time. I think they waved that shot off. But, boy, heck of a third quarter outburst for Max Hood. 7 points. He willed them back into the lead. They go to the break, up 10, 44-34. Kyle?
Yeah, 6-point lead, and now it's up to 10 here with the final 8 minutes coming up here. And you know that for the both Falcons, they can take control by using their size down low. You got a number of Blue Knights in foul trouble, and try to get a 3 or something just to get some more energy here. But for West, you know what you got to do. You just keep doing what you're doing. And the fouls, thankfully, are back to 0 for both squads here, so there won't be free throws for a bit. But, you know, as Justin Bieber says, baby, baby, we'll see what happens here.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll tell you what, I think they really got to, Ben Reardon's up at the point, whereas he was the shooting guard. He's 6'2". They've got Larrabee at 6'4", Kyle Simmons at 6'3". This is where they got their opportunity. I was seeing them play some against Sauhegan, and they're very good at rotating a triangle and picking off one another. I think they've got to get that stuff and get to the mid blocks, low blocks, and feed the big fellas down under. But when they get down under, they got to use that glass and just get that kiss, as Billy Raftery likes to say. All right, here we go to 4. 10-point lead for the Blue Knights, looking to go to 5-0 overall. Rich McDonough, Kyle Heavey on board with you tonight. Front rim from Freeman, couldn't get that one. Long rebound goes to Venturini. And he's got the ball right now. Gets started with that nice little jab step, dishes it out to Hood. Front rims and in, and that is a shooter's roll, Kyle Heavey.
Yeah, you get love when that happens right there. Now he's got 10 just in the second half alone.
Yep.
Trying to make his way up to that 22.
There's a walk, packing the bags. Reardon couldn't get that one. Looking for some love from Fred McNeil. Nothing doing. 7:22 on the clock. And it is now a 13-point gap in favor of the Blue Knights.
Always best to buy a ticket before you travel.
All right, Ramirez back in the game. He's got 4 fouls, but he's just a man-eater out there when he gets into space, and they just want to keep the Falcons off the board with their big fella strategy right now. Good weave, nice dish. Under 7 to go. Hood takes a long look at it in no hurry. Dishes it out to Cruz. Cruz does the same thing. Patience here for the Knights. That one misses everything long. Goes into Simmons' waiting hands. And back down the floor come the Bo Falcons, trailing by 13 now. It's good. He refused the pick out top. Now you can get a 2-man game. Backside. Here comes an arcing shot. Misses front rim. Getting a hand on it as it goes out of bounds is Connorino. Nothing doing. It's going back to the fellas in white.
That's certainly a scary feeling as you can see that the stairs were coming quick there, and that railing could have really punctured him for sure. But with just 6:28 to go, another timeout, and the Blue Knights have added some more to their lead here, Rich.
Yep, it's 13-point gap right now if you're wearing Navy. 6:28 on the clock, but Rich Otis, he calls a timeout. Coach of the year. I guess it was probably a good timeout. Why call timeout? I think you want to set the table to close this game out, Kyle. What do you think?
Making sure that you're playing your terms. You're making sure that everyone knows what you're doing and play like you mean it, and not just try to follow what the Falcons are doing. Make the Falcons follow what you're doing.
Well, and you're a big, tall fella. So we've been talking about it. They want to try to get the big guys loose through the Falcons underneath. Nothing doing. I think Rich Otis probably has his fellas mindful of that and saying, yeah, this is our game. It's our gym. We're going to 5-0. They're not coming out with this tonight.
And I got to say, Wes has gotten extremely lucky with some second chance opportunities where the Falcons just were not able to get the rebounds. The ball bounces off the rim pretty hard and is able to go back into a white jersey.
Well, it must be National Blue Knights night. All right, good kick, nice drive inside. Looking for the bounce pass side. Can't do it. Simmons was waiting there to intercept that pass. Long ball goes over to Littlefield. He is a nice dish inside, and there is the big guy, Larrabee, with his first deuce of the fourth quarter, and it's 47-36. Again, Falcons are persistent.
Plays like that I'm talking about, you just let him do his thing down low. He's got some pretty hands, and
That is a nice leave right there, but nothing doing. Can't get the drop. And keeping it in almost was Littlefield. Should have cut his toenails this morning. His foot was right on that line, and Fred McNeil knew it.
Yeah, he had a bird's eye view right there and was able to see that the tippy toes were in the blue.
And Venturini takes a seat, freshman, giving good minutes for Coach Otis right here. They're going topside. Gonzalez sets things up, the big guy. He's only got 2 tonight, but he's a valuable space eater down there as well. Again, he was out all last year. They love having 23 back in the game. And that was a walk. Seen a few of those tonight, and back we go. 5:31 on the clock, 47-36 on the scoreboard. Falcons need a deuce right here, absolutely. They dish it into Littlefield. He's quick. He's manned by a quick guy in Freeman. And the lefty goes topside, gets over the stripe as we count it down to 5:20. Falcons down by 9, looking to create. Good drive, going down low. For the moment was Eno. Dishes it out. Littlefield can't get the drop, but Eno's there for the board. And nothing's going in right now. There's what you want to do. And the big fella can't convert. This time the backside, Carter Hall at 6'2". We were talking about that. They got size on the blocks. The big guy misses one side. Carter Hall picks it up in garbage time. Still 2 points, Kyle.
3 consecutive offensive rebounds right there for the Falcons. Finally getting that bucket and the foul, cutting this lead down to 9 with an opportunity for 8 if they're able to make this precious free throw. It's been their kryptonite so far.
Yeah, right. Well, Carter Hall led the team with 8 points in the first. That's his first bucket of this half. And brings him to 10. Can he get to 11? He does. Nice smooth shooting at the stripe right there for Carter Hall. And just like that, it is back to an 8-point lead, 47-39. The 5-minute even mark. Down the stretch they come.
5 unanswered points right now for the Falcons, and they played some good defense, but this time allowing
that was beautiful.
A sharpshooter to get a lane, and great job using the elbow, and now Freeman called the foul.
Well, I tell you, Freeman turned that corner. I thought he was going to go distance right there, but boy, he showed some elevation there, Kyle Heavey. And the beautiful thing was, he got perfectly square to the rim.
That's what's huge right there. A lot of shooters forget to. That's a big part of making those shots is getting your body square to the basket.
Almost disaster right there for the Falcons as they had inbound play with 2 guys at the same level, same space. They hang on to the ball right now. Simmons kind of being a 6'3" guy at the moment.
Sometimes it's what your team needs.
And Simmons is looking for the ball down low, closely guarded by Gonzalez, and he drags him out of the paint, now top side. And Winfield is on the backside, says it went off of the big guy Larrabee, and back down we go. If you're wearing white, and if you're the Blue Knights, and there was a collective sigh over on the far side among the Knights fans there, Kyle.
Yeah, but to our right, the Falcons bench were just distraught by that.
Yep.
Did not believe that call.
And then Hood can't get that one. Bodied up hard by Aldati was Larrabee, and he got the foul from the backside.
And coming back into the game is Reardon after he got some precious bench time to get some oxygen and get some hydration and finish this last 4 minutes of this contest.
That was Gonzalez's 3rd personal foul of the game. 4 minutes even, folks. Bo needs to do something. You don't want to hurry, but you got to move. Don't want to rush, but you want to hurry. I knew I'd figure that one out.
Proud of you there, Rich.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it, my man.
It's always tough trying to explain what you're meaning, but the words are coming out.
Big step and driving into space. That was Aldati, and if it was Aldati, that could be his 5th foul right there.
Yeah, he is shocked by that call. He didn't feel like he did anything wrong, was just reacting, and next thing you know, he is now getting subbed out, and that's a tough one right there as he will.
He's done for the night, but back into the game goes Ramirez for him, and Ramirez has 4 fouls. I know what I'm doing if I'm Coach Saucy. I'm going right at number 14. And you've got 3 guys at 6'2", 6'3", and 6'4". Time to get to those elbows. That's a nice pass right there. Good handle by Carter Hall, and he gets his. 13th point of the night and chops the lead back down to 8, Kyle Heavey.
Always tough right there. Everyone's watching the ball, wondering what's going to happen. And instead, able to feel that his teammate was moving along, and beautiful pass, beautiful bucket.
All right, Mariano, he's a stabilizing force out there. And he does exactly that. Hood takes a look topside. What a beautiful look, and jab step the other way. And number 10 drops in 2.
You know, if West can continue doing like this in this season, with having one of your better players take the first half, the other one takes the second half, they could be good. But
everybody outside for the Falcons, and traveling right there is Littlefield, as we are now 2:49 remaining. We're under 3, and that's a timeout necessary right there by Coach Saucier. He's in his second year. He likes his team, but clearly they're missing the All-Stater tonight, Kyle.
Oh, for sure. I mean, a low-scoring affair so far through this game, and now with 2:49 remaining, you know, down 10, it's going to be Falcons trying to make some threes or trying to make something happen here. But West is just having it work in all various ways. But again, the foul trouble, you see the 4 on the board, one more, and it's going to be all free throws for the rest of the way for the Falcons.
Well, Max Hood only had 4 points in the first half. That was our story of the night at that point. He now sits at 16, and the 22-point per game scorer is totally in rhythm and has brought his fellas along with him.
It's been a huge thing, as Braden has really only scored maybe 5 points this second half here. He's been very quiet because it's been a Hood show.
Yeah, it's he's only got 2.
Okay.
In the second half, bringing him for 14 for the game. But he did have 12 in that first half, and that was critical, while Hood was held to 4. That hey, credit the Bo Falcons for executing a game plan, missing their star, and hanging in this game. There's still 2:49 left. It's a 10-point lead. They've shown that they can put them in. They gotta hit their free throws, and they gotta miss those layups. Nice vision right there by Mariano to find Jermaine Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes baseline. They said it was off of blue. Holy cow, 2:38. Clock didn't move.
Very strange situation there. That helps the Falcons for sure. But
Can't call it a home job, that's for sure. Nice job going all the way back. 2 things. You get the ball in the clear, and you chew up some clock. Clock is moving now at 2:30. 10-point lead for the Manchester Blue Knights, looking to go 5-0 in the season for Coach Rich Otis in his 3rd year. All right, big fella coming out, gets a piece from behind. They say he got his jersey. It's kind of like that football pass interference where you get a piece of the jersey and you turn the hips of the receiver. Anton Thomas is not going to mess around with that one. Stays with the fellas in white. 2:15 on the clock, 10-point lead. And they're playing grab right now. That's a good step in and a rotation right there by Carter Hall. Much needed. Oh, and they said he traveled with it. Antoine Thomas is right there, 5 feet away. Doing some explaining right now. And Ben Reardon accepts it. Do not mess with an experienced ref like Thomas.
Yeah, you think he was trying to hand the ball off and the player wasn't there.
It happens. Part of the game. All right, we're heading down for the 2-minute mark. Bo is now in a frenetic trapping defensive scheme, trying to force long passes, and up to the task so far are the Knights. There's some poise out there in the perimeter. There's Gonzalez dishing it out. Mariano gets fouled from behind by Carter Hall as he drives. That's Carter Hall's 2nd or 3rd foul, can't tell.
Just the team's second, so that's no free throws yet with 1:48 to go.
Yeah, you got to close that gap in a hurry. They reset after quarters now, folks. 5 gets you to the line per quarter. All right, there's that weave. Way high now are the Bo Falcons playing defense. Freeman gets a handle. Nice job dishing it back to Gonzalez. He gets hacked by the big fella Larrabee. And dare I say, they're rubbing some salt in the wound right now, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, 12-point lead with just 96 seconds to go in this contest. A free throw here would put it up to 13. And, well, it's Falcons will definitely would love to get some threes here, but just the ball has not been falling. But a missed free throw here.
All right, Gonzalez can't hit that one. Everybody was out of the lane and down the court for Coach Otis. Bodied up right there is Reardon. No call. A little bit of a funky step right there, and there he is again. Gonzalez with his 4th block of the game. Boy, there have been times when they get backside and underneath, and Gonzalez is the eraser. Good step in right there by Hall. He gets to the rack, and look who it is. Number 4, Mariano, yet again. Flexing his muscle, clapping it up for his teammates, and boy, he had Roadrunner rockets on the back of those shoes, Kyle, at 105. It is a 12-point lead.
Unbelievable defense from both squads. No buckets from either squad. And now just 60 seconds away, and it looks like the Falcons are not going to try to foul here.
Kind of a lull in scoring, but no lull in excitement right now, Kyle. And that's good defense, but a little bit of a push out of bounds. And big fella Larrabee is complaining briefly. Sticking with the Blue Knights, 56.3 on the clock, 53-41 on the scoreboard here at Quinn. Going long ball again, Hood running down. He's getting his steps in tonight.
You know, they're going to need a quarterback next year in football.
Oh, Gonzalez couldn't handle that hot ball. Good feet and good hands right there by Ramirez. He of the 4 fouls, staying in the game and logging some valuable minutes. Playing keep away right there and chew clock, right, Kyle?
Yeah, 39 seconds out of bounds off of the Falcons. And you can feel the energy from the student body down there that they are ready to get this celebration at hand here.
And Venturini comes in, the freshman, a little bit of ball handling skill, little change, nice substitution by Coach Otis. He knows what he's doing. You don't get Coach of the Year for nothing. And Venturini has the ball, dishes high side to Mariano, who steps through the trapping defense of the Falcons. And the bus has been started for a while. I think the door handles are warmed up now too. 20 seconds left. Manchester's going to go to 5-0 in the season. They're at Co-Brown North, number 10 ranked preseason. On the 9th, they home against Conval, and then on the 12th, and then Stark here on the 16th for their part. Next up for the Falcons, down a man, number 2 Hanover. That is a tall order. Then they got to go to number 3 HP, who you've seen already, Kyle Heavey. That's a team that can be in Durham Final Four.
Absolutely, but this West squad is looking strong through the first 5 games of the year. And we'll be here next Monday versus Conval. Rich, you're more than welcome to join in for that game if you want.
Well, let's talk marching orders. We'll trade some text tonight. But here at the Charles J. Quinn Gymnasium in Manchester, New Hampshire, the hometown Manchester West Blue Knights go to 5-0, taking the victory 53-41 over the injured but not daunted Bo Falcons, who go to 1-2 in NHIAA play. Well, and they're hoping to get their big scorer back. When they do, this is a team that will contend.
Yeah, and player of the game is going to be tough. The Optimum Sports player of the game, for me, I think Mariano did a great job in that first half to try to get the Blue Knights ahead. And yeah, he didn't have a big second half, but I think that he was able to step up and make the necessary plays.
I agree, and you win the Jeopardy round again. Mariano is your player of the game. They're out in front because of him when they did a good job shutting Hood down. Well, I'll tell you what, Kyle, 12-point victory, but with lots of excitement tonight. I enjoyed our first outing of 2026, Kyle.
Well, for Executive Director Jason Cody, Operations Specialist Joe Lahr, Operations Assistant Brendan McCormick, for our main man Rich McDonough, my name is Kylie Heavey. It's National Whipped Cream Day. Everyone enjoy your night here, and we'll look forward to being back for more coverage of soccer, basketball, hockey, all the sports here on Manchester Public Television. So long for now, and we look forward to seeing you again here on Manchester Public Television.
Happy New Year, everybody.